Hello and welcome to Mondo Street Social Club. Today I'm joined by Allie, singer-songwriter from sunny Florida. Hi, Allie, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So, singer-songwriter, your new single, Bad Friend, is out at the moment.
It is?
Um, Going down great guns. I want to talk about that single particularly in a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but do you want to start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, who you are and how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, of course. Of course, my name's Allie. I've been singing since I can remember all throughout elementary, middle school, high school, college. I was in
Yeah.
chorus and show choir and all that stuff, so singing's always been kind of a passion of mine. I always wanted to make music and I just had such like a roadblock. For my first single I put out last July, it's called Better Without You.
Yeah.
And I had that idea in mind for so long, and I really couldn't like put it into lyrics.
Okay.
This year I started, I guess 2023, I started learning like keyboard, guitar, all that stuff. I'm not the best still, but yeah, it was, I mean, learning those things was like so much easier to like make music. I would
Yeah.
just like use samples and
Mhm.
like loops and stuff. So it's like much easier to actually be able to use instruments to help me with my music. But yeah, a good friend of mine that actually produces my music. His name's Mike Williams. He put out a song I think February of last year, and I was listening to it at work. So I'm like by day I'm a social worker in a
Okay.
hospital.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting at work and we just like go over the patients and stuff. So when like we weren't talking about my patients, I like popped my
Mhm.
earbuds in, and listened to it, and like for some reason I just got like a spout of inspiration. I was sitting on the notes on my phone, just started writing a bunch of lyrics, and then I brought it to him, and he just helped me make it what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started actually making music in. We started like March of 2023, and then the song came out in July.
Okay.
So yeah.
And a great song it is. So, had you written anything at all before Better Off Without You?
No, I never had anything. Like I
Wow.
had like tiny little things, like how you put in your like your notes section of your phone and
Yeah.
stuff, but nothing like of substance that like I could use for a song. So yeah, that was really the first time like delving into actually writing music. So it was a big challenge, especially for that one. Like my first song out the bat, I was just like, I just want to do it, and like writing is really, I feel like very therapeutic for me.
Mm,
I write about things that are, happening in my life or, things that I'm going through, and it's just like it's good to do that. And that's what I did with Bad Friend too. Like it was about a
yeah.
situation with a friend. So
It's really quite amazing. And well, I don't, if that was your first song, it's really quite it's mature in the way in the way it's written. There's no, it's not, there's no nasty, silly little rhymes, snowflakes or fairy tales and things like
right.
that. There's a real level of maturity all the way through it, which a lot of artists take many songs and many years to actually grow into. It seems as though you've kind
Right.
of like hit a stride straight away.
Yeah, and I mean like I'm very hard on myself as an artist. Like I was super nervous to put out Better Without You just because I've always been kind of insecure of my singing voice. So
Okay.
like but I've always been, passionate with music, so it was kind of one of those things that I was like, well, like I really want to, but I'm nervous and I mean, like I couldn't have done it by myself for sure. Like
Mm,
my friend Mike was a great help with that.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean I and he helped me like his section of the song, like he wrote his lyrics, and then for like the last chorus we kind of came up with something
Mm,
together, and so like I definitely had help, but yeah, it was definitely something that I challenged myself to, write about. And I mean I kind of take big inspiration from Taylor Swift and
yeah.
her poetic songwriting, so I try to like
Yeah.
every time I write a song like put myself into that like poetic state of mind to write music.
No, nothing wrong with that at all. I think as long as you're getting your story out and it's in a format that you're proud of at the end, then that's
Right.
the most important thing. So what was it like then when you sat down, you'd gone through all of the writing process, all the production process, and you sat down and listened to your song for the first time when it was all done and dusted?
It was pretty cool. Like I mean, throughout the way he would send me mixes and stuff, but like once I finally got like the full mastered
Mm,
version, um I think I was in the car on the way home from work, and I like played it through my car speakers, and I was like, this
Mm.
is so cool, like,
Yeah.
getting to hear all of it and like knowing like, wow, this is like my song. There's no other song like it out there. And so that was a pretty cool feeling to like to know that. And then I was super excited to work on promotional stuff and get it out there. But like I said, at the same time, I was super nervous about what people were going to think. But I was like, you know what? Like, it's something that was super, important to me and
Mm.
like meant so much to me. So I was like, at the same time, I was like, I really don't care. I'm just kind of happy that it's going to be out there and that
Yeah.
I did it. And even if it doesn't go anywhere, do anything, like at least I can say like I did it.
Yeah, yeah, that's very important. Um, we've talked previously on the podcast about this strange sense of sending a song out. You lose ownership of it because you give it to somebody else, you give it to somebody that listens to it and then attaches their emotions and their life to it.
Mhm.
Did you have any experience around that? Did somebody come back to you and say, "Oh, I really love that song. It reminds me of."
Yeah, actually, I had like I was promoting it on TikTok and stuff, and so I had someone comment, and they were like, "Oh, this song means so much to me. Like I'm relating it to my life right now. So
Mm.
like this song is super important right now." And I was like, and I actually have had like people with bad friends say that. Like I had a friend text me, and he's like, "This song's been on repeat for the past 20, 30 minutes. Like I'm
Brilliant.
obsessed." Yeah, so I'm like, that's always so great to hear and like knowing people, like it resonates with people.
Yeah, and that obviously did that make you feel really kind of like proud and
Oh
it's an
yeah.
achievement that you really really earned.
Right, like it just makes all the anxiety and like insecure feelings about it just go away because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, even I'm not like I think, music is so subjective and
Mm.
it's, people are gonna feel what they like and if they don't like it, that's fine and I just tell myself that. But the people that do like it and, the messages I've gotten so far, I'm super grateful for the people that
Superb.
do support
Yeah.
and like the music.
Yeah, there's always another radio station if you don't like it. You can
Yeah.
don't be negative about it. Just pick something else.
Change the channel, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I listen to, most people go, "Ooh, what's that?" But it's stuff I like.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So have you? It's a strange question, this, because you're so young in your career. Writer's block, this ability, the lack of ability to write.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that something that you've come across yet? With all those ideas that were in your head, was that your writer's block?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely like, especially with Better Without You, like I said, I had the idea in my head for so long, but I just couldn't put it into words. And
Yeah.
I knew it was because the premise of Better Without You is basically, back in 2018, I had dated someone, cheated on me the whole time, and I thought like I was never gonna heal from that. I was never gonna get past that. And then, 6 years later now, I'm like, oh, like I'm way better. I'm way better off now. So like
Yeah.
that I just knew I wanted that to be like I'm better without this person. And I knew
Yeah.
I wanted that like even though it's not the full truth, like I wanted that kind of back and forth with like a male
Mhm.
voice of, the male feeling regret and then the female voice is like, okay, no, I'm better without you. So yeah, and I mean I feel like now that Bad Friends out, I'm starting to work on, focus on more music and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of stuff written. I mean, I got a keyboard for Christmas. So like Christmas Day, I sat down and just started writing a bunch of
Yeah.
songs. But there's stuff that I've gone through in the past like 2 months or so that I'm like, I have an idea for it, but like I said, it's just I can't get it out. So it's like I have what I want, like the idea, but then it's just when it comes to putting it into
Yeah.
words, it's hard. Like I'll play a riff on the piano or whatever, or on the guitar, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I like this, and then I'm just like, okay, well, I can't put lyrics to it. I can't figure it out. So.
So do you typically wait for a moment of inspiration and then go back to that hook and then say that actually works now? Or are you going to
Yeah.
start to try and be more disciplined and say an hour on a Friday? Because people work in different ways, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of just let inspiration hit. Like, I know that a lot of people are like, oh, like, do you work on the lyrics first or do you work on the instrumentals first? And it's
Hmm.
like, really just depends. Like, sometimes I'll just be sitting there and I'm like, okay, like, I feel these lyrics are here. And so I'll just write them down and then I'll sit down at the piano
Yeah.
at some point and just try to see if it works. And so I have like tiny different lyrics like sporadic out, but like nothing that's totally together. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, I gotta figure out how to put those all together.
The thing to do is to write them all onto cue cards and then
Hmm.
put them all on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
just
just walk around the room looking at them and going, ah, that one goes with that one. And
right.
I think it was Bowie that did that. He
Oh
used to
yeah.
write random lyrics on cards and then just
Oh wow.
walk around the room. And I think he was pretty successful at what he did.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
for
maybe
sure.
there's something there.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
I could try that.
yeah, yeah, why not? I think moving on to Bad Friend now, that sigh at the beginning of the song is beautiful. I've got to say.
Thank you.
What a way to start a song. The thing about Bad Friend that caught my ear straight away, it's beautifully produced. It is
Thank you so much.
truly beautifully produced. And the chord progression's a little bit unusual. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's not your standard, 1 4 5 and everyone
Right.
sits there. Yeah. It's a little bit unusual and it works. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's that breath, it's that like like that.
Right.
Here I go. I'm gonna let all of this out now. That was obviously a cathartic song for you to write.
Yeah.
Did you feel better at the end of it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny because so like the premise of Bad Friend is basically I had a friend I went to college with for 5 years plus. Like we were super close. Like I always thought, whenever I get married, she's gonna be a bridesmaid. Like all those
Mm,
type of things. Like I thought that was gonna be like a for life type of friend. And then yeah, it turns out like the past, last year, all from like the beginning to probably summer, she was just like very distant, kept trying to reach out, like, hey, are you okay? Or like,
mm,
is, whatever. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, okay. So it was one of those things I started to grieve the friendship before it was really
mm,
over because I just felt, I was like, okay, something like she's backing off, like something's just different. So,
yeah.
and then sure enough, I was, right with my inkling that she sent me a whole paragraph just saying, oh, like our friendship has run its course. You've never been really a good friend. Like you never came to see me. And I'm like, well, like, and it's funny. I never answered the text because I was just like, I don't see a reason to
Oh,
fight for it.
yeah.
If it's something that she doesn't want to fight for, then I'm not going to fight for it either. And
Yeah.
so, but I was just like, well, it's a two-way street. You didn't reach out
Mm,
to me on my like the line that really is like one of my favorites is in the second verse when I say, when my birthday didn't roll, or when my birthday rolled around this year, you didn't even call.
yeah.
Like that was one thing. Like I'm the type I like not that I don't know. I remember when people wish me a happy birthday or not. That's just a weird
Mm,
thing. But
yeah.
yeah, and then I realized that she didn't, and that was like one of the lyrics that like popped to my head like immediately once I
Yeah.
started writing it. But it's funny, as soon as I got that text, instead of answering, I sat down and started writing it. It was that quick. So it was just one of those things that was just instant. I was like, "Yep, I have ideas for this."
Yeah. Did you excuse me. Did you have any hesitation about writing it? Because obviously it's a very personal moment between you and your ex-friend.
Mm.
There can be no misinterpreting who it's about because the two parties
Yeah,
know exactly who it is. Did you ever go, oh, I'm not sure?
Yeah, I was a little worried, and I mean, I haven't faced any repercussions yet, but I
All right.
mean,
Yeah.
I was worried. I was like, oh, once this song comes out, like someone's gonna send it to her, and then it's gonna be a
Yeah.
whole thing. So that's why I was kind of like hesitant because I've been working on it since like end of summer, maybe September last year. So like it took a while, not just production wise, but just
Mm,
like do I want to like is this the one I want to put out or should I like wait until more time heals like I don't know. And then I was
yeah.
like, you know what? No. I was like it doesn't matter. I mean, if someone like that wants to, walk out of your life, then you just let them and you
Yeah.
you do what you got to do and to cope and heal with it and move on.
Yeah. You've got to pull the band-aid off at some point, haven't you? You,
Yeah.
you, you can't just sit there festering yourself if you haven't been the driver for it, you can't be the one that gets punished.
Right.
It's and you're right. If they don't want to talk about it, then why should you talk about it and get on?
Yeah.
It's yeah, life can be too short to be worrying about things like that, unfortunately.
Right.
So you're doing a bit of writing now when you can, when the inspiration hits. Um, is that for another single, or are you starting to work on an album?
So I think my goal for this year, which I don't know at this point if it's gonna happen, just because I work a full-time job, life is
Yeah,
crazy. But at least by 2025, I would say, if not at the end of this year, I really want to work at least an EP.
yeah.
I have an idea of what I want to do for that. So I've written about maybe 3 or 4 songs. Haven't really recorded them or anything, but I have the ideas for them. They're kind of like just recorded on my phone.
Okay.
And I haven't touched them in a while. But I mean, because I was really putting all my focus on Bad Friend until it was out. And I was like, all right, once it's out, then I'll like let myself focus on this because I just wanted to, like work on the promotional stuff and make sure it got out there and it was, the best that it could be. So yeah, I mean it's definitely I think an EP is definitely the route I want to go. And then later down the line I'll do an album, but yeah, I think an EP is a good start.
That sounds good. And do you think you'll be able to maintain that relationship with the production partnership that you've got at the moment?
Yeah, I mean he's doing great things. He works with a music company right now. They're called Ghost Rocket.
Yeah.
They're working on this whole thing, and they work on like award shows in California and stuff. So they're doing pretty big things. So I mean, if he gets too busy, I don't expect him to,
Yeah.
take the time out because he's doing way more cool things. But
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I guess like a shout out to his name is Bobby Hawk. He did the strings for Bad Friend,
It's
and he is
superb as well. Oh,
yeah, he's a phenomenal artist, and
yeah.
he actually met him through my producer because he's got a bunch of credits on Taylor Swift songs. He's really close with Jack Antonoff, which is Taylor's producer,
Mhm.
and so sometimes he'll just send him stuff, and he'll end up in some of Taylor's songs. And he lives up in Brooklyn, so we went and got coffee last time I was up there, and we
Yeah.
we talked and everything, and yeah, he's like, well, if you ever want me on a song, then just let me know. So I like pitched the idea to him and
Oh, go
he
on
loved
then.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And
Twist
so,
my
but
arm.
right. And so I and told him I wanted to not like seek a new producer, but just in case my friend was busy, then,
Yeah.
someone I can rely on as well.
Mhm.
So he led me to another guy that's living out in Texas. So I think if my friend's too busy, then
Yeah.
I'll definitely rely on him as well. But it's good to like have multiple people in your corner, and I have
Definitely,
a
definitely,
lot
because
of musical friends.
yeah, it helps with the with your musical education because
Right.
the more influences you can absorb, the finer your finished product is.
Right. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
like I said, I have a lot of musical friends. Like, my producer is in a band. They're called Flamingo County Players, and so I know like the lead singer, the guitarist, bassist, drummer,
Yeah.
everything, and I just bounce off some ideas from on them from time to time, and they come back with good ideas. So yeah, I'm really grateful to have a lot of people that I
Yeah.
know that are musically inclined.
Excellent. Have you done any live shows yet?
No, that's definitely a goal of mine. I don't
Yeah.
know when that could happen. I actually met these two guys that we may be starting a band. I'm not sure yet. We met for the first time this past week, and yeah, so that I mean, if that happens, then I would definitely play live. But yeah, I didn't really know anyone that I could play live with. So
Yeah.
now knowing two extra people that can potentially play live with me, that's definitely in the goal for the next year or two. But
Yeah. Because,
and then
because
once I get more music too, like I mean, I only have 2 songs out, so I would like to have a little bit more out there before I perform live as well.
yeah, because the songs are songs which will translate into the live arena quite well. You
Yeah,
know, they're not overly produced. They're not overly, complicated where you'd need 18 people on stage or silly
right.
things like that. Um, yeah, that's really good. So who would you say then? I think I know the answer to this question before I even ask it. But who's been your biggest influence?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, like I really have a lot of influences, but
Yeah.
I think my biggest influence is Taylor Swift. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been listening to her since, I was 12 years old, but this I went to her concert last year and that's when I really like started, like I listened to like her mainstream songs, and then once I saw the concert, I was like I started getting into the more like deeper songs that not a lot of people like listen to, like that's on
Yeah.
the radio and stuff. And yeah, and so I take a lot of inspiration from her, like her, just like I said, her like her poeticness of
Yeah.
how she writes and the things she goes through. Like I think she gets a lot of crap for writing about the things in her life, like breakups, that stuff. But
Mm.
no one realizes that a lot of our other artists do that too. But it's just because,
It's yeah,
she's
they
it's
disguise it
her that
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
She's very much an open book, isn't she? She's very
oh yeah,
very open when she's singing. She's singing in a way that fans don't have to translate. They can
yeah,
just hear the words, whereas other musicians might kind of wrap it up in something that's slightly fancy.
right.
Um, so looking at your what we do is we look at whether you are nature or nurture. So are you a natural musician? That is, you were born to be a musician, or is there something in your family which has coached you along? So anybody in the family, mum and dad, musical at all?
Not musical, but my dad, like my whole dad's side of the family, they're very artistic, like drawing wise. I
Yeah.
never got the drawing gene, but I guess I stemmed some of the artisticness of what they do. But yeah, no really musical. I mean, I feel like I've grown up doing a lot of art stuff. Like I dance, I did cheerleading, all that kind of stuff. So like music was always a part of my life because,
Yeah.
dancing to music, cheering to music. So it was always something that I enjoyed listening to, and
Hmm.
then yeah, at a young age I was, like I said, I did chorus throughout my whole life, so it was something that I was just kind of naturally drawn to.
Yeah, I read an interview with you where it said, I was born to dance. I was born not to dance. So thankfully there's people like you in the world. And yeah, I've got 17 left feet. I just sit and watch and go, yeah, it's all very good. So what about mum's side then? Anything on mum's side? Musical?
No, not really. It's yeah, it's no one. I mean, I'm really the only one in my family. Like
Yeah.
my cousin actually sings. So there's that, but other than that, yeah, there's not
Yeah.
a lot of people in my family that sing.
Breaking the mold. Well done, you. Yeah. So are there any big influences that aren't within the arts? Do you have obviously you've got your producer, you've got that friendship there. Is there anyone else you want to give a shout out for being really supportive?
Yeah, I think just I mean, my a lot of my friends that, aren't in the music scene, a lot of them are, but as far as people who are and have always been supportive, I would say, of course, like I said, my producer, Mike Williams,
Yeah.
the Flamingo County Players, it consists of Matthew Lowry, Micah Roth, um, Josh Callahan, I can't remember Rick's last, I
Okay.
think Rick Hogan, and then Kyle, I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but
Great
yeah.
band name though. Great name for a band.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're phenomenal
Yeah.
live. I mean, if anybody is in the Lakeland, Tampa area in
Yeah.
Florida, Orlando,
Yeah.
they're perfect. They did a 3 weekend show back in January, and I tagged along for every show, and it was the same set list. I was like, I don't care, I'll watch this 3 times in a row. Like
Yeah.
they're that good. And I mean, Matthew's a great artist. I mean,
Yeah.
I only met him back in September when I went to his album release show for Flamingo County. And yeah, I mean, knowing them and having them in my corner has always it's been a great thing these past few months
Yeah.
because I can just, like I said, bounce ideas off of them. And if I say, "Hey, I'm working on this," like, with Bad Friend, I was like, if you don't mind sharing it out in your platforms and stuff, like they did it no hesitation. And
Yeah.
and I think I'm the type, like, I return the favor as soon as you're like, "Hey, I have this, I'm promoting
Mhm.
this, like, can you share it to your story or Instagram?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Of course." Because I mean, I think like artists supporting artists is a really good
Oh,
thing, and it's good to have that support all around.
totally, totally. If you could have written any song in the history of music, this is a difficult one. This I know it
Oh,
kind
it
of.
is.
Yeah. What song would you choose to have written? And you can't say happy birthday for the royalties. Okay.
Hmm. Oh God. Man, I think like production wise and instrumental wise, the first song that just popped in my head was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that song is just so good. Just the
Yeah.
way it ebbs and flows, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's not like different genres, I would say,
Mm,
but it just goes from like super slow and then
yeah.
super hard. So it's just, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and my mom loves Queen, so I've been listening to Queen since I was a little girl. So yeah, I would say Bohemian Rhapsody for
Yeah.
sure.
What an absolutely stonking choice. And if you could cover any song, no licensing concerns, what song would you cover?
Oh, hmm. Gosh, that is a. I think My favorite band, they're called Dayseeker. I saw them live back in April and they're phenomenal. Um, my friend introduced me to one of their songs is called Crying While You're Dancing, and I've been wanting to cover that song for since the day I learned it. It's such a good song, and um, yeah, I think one of these days I'll make a cover to it. But yeah, that's definitely a song. If I ever did perform live, if I could
Yeah,
do like one cover song, that would be it.
yeah, that is a great title for a song.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a lot of their songs are just so deep and it's like you kind of have to listen to the lyrics
Yeah,
to understand. And you know, because some people just listen to music just to listen to it, but I'm the type like I pay attention to the lyrics, what's going
yeah,
on. So it's it's basically just yeah, like metaphorically and like realistically crying while you're dancing is I
yeah.
mean, you're putting on a face for all these people, but you're hurting so much
Oh
inside. Like
yeah, yeah,
I love it. I just
yeah.
love how deep that
My
is.
my mind started thinking, am I crying because I'm laughing, or am I crying because I'm sad? And then why am I sad? And that is
Right.
just such a good title for a song,
Oh
really.
yeah.
So what are they called again? Sorry.
Crying while you're dancing.
No, not song title, the
Oh.
band.
Oh, Dayseeker.
Dayseeker. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down now. Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, they're very good. They're more of a like I would say like metalcore in a way.
Yeah,
Um they do have a lot of like harder songs, but back in I think 2022 they put out their album Dark Sun and it's kind of more synthy and
yeah.
it's got like some, some harder moments, but for the most part it's very just kind of laid back and
Sounds like a good recommendation. That
oh
I
yeah,
shall I shall have a listen to that. Not after it because it's midnight here
oh
in
yeah.
the cold, clammy UK. So when do you think then? Because Bad Friends out now and it must be doing great guns. You know, you're getting a lot of feedback from it. You're picking up an awful lot of followers on social media.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get another song out of you this year?
Oh, I hope so. I've always I really want to do a Christmas song around Christmas time. For some reason
Yeah,
I've really wanted to do a Christmas song. I don't even know what even it would be about. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I feel like for that, another big musical influence of mine is Sabrina Carpenter. I
yeah.
love her. She's really great. And last Christmas she put out in I think yeah, it was an EP and she just made a bunch of like Christmas songs. I loved it. It
Mm.
was just like it wasn't like the traditional Christmas music that you would hear, but it was great. So I want to kind of challenge myself. And even if it's not a Christmas song this year, I definitely like I said I have some songs in mind and I would definitely like release some singles off the EP,
Yeah.
either one or two. I think Bad Friend might be a part of it. I'm still trying to figure that out, but yeah, I think definitely one I have one more in me this year.
Excellent. Well, I think the two singles you've released so far are absolutely cracking. I tend to prefer my music more towards the heavier punky side.
hmm Oh,
But
you would
I've
love Dayseeker then. Oh, you
yeah,
would love
I
Dayseeker.
thoroughly enjoyed your songs because I could just sit there and not worry about anything. I could just have this lovely sound come over me, so that was really nice. Thank you very much for joining me. It's
Yeah,
been
of
really
course.
nice to meet you. I hope we hear more from you this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if anybody wants to follow Ali, it's Ali Official Music on Instagram. There's a link tree on there as well, which will take you out to all of the streaming areas, YouTube,
Yep.
and then there's a couple of interviews on there as well, or one interview on there. Um, so for the moment, Ali, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.